Hi everyone, this video I'm going to be discussing a, a gap in human memory that can be dangerous in terms of making lifestyle changes like quitting smoking or eating healthier or getting exercise or whatever the case may be. So let me start with an example. Um, I was just looking at a computer game conference that is held in Taiwan twice a year, and I went to the last two contests. And was just thinking about planning another trip back to Taiwan. And when I think about the last two trips, what immediately sticks out are the sightseeing, the positive experiences from the games, what I learned from the games, the food there is different. Maybe I meet somebody while I'm there, especially meeting a girl. I tend to remember those things, but I forget about all the negative experiences that go with the challenges with the travel. I actually had a nervous breakdown on the first trip there, and I had to postpone the trip, and I was able to get my therapist from here in Seattle to fax the airline a note, and I was able to postpone the trip without additional cost. And I made it to Taiwan safely. I had some anxiety issues with getting on the flight, and I forget about that. I forget about when I'm in Taiwan. I suffer from a lot of mosquito bites. My guess is that my blood is probably a lot more cleaner than a lot of other people's blood who consumes a lot of junk food, trans fat, sugar, MSG, and mosquitoes like it. You know, they're smart in terms of healthy eating, and so I suffer a lot of bites. I always come home and itch for another week or two, but I tend to, if not forget it, I tend to abstract it away that there were some inconveniences. It's not until when I really think about it or go back into my diary and see, oh my God, you know, how itchy it was. And even then, it's probably when I read my diary about me complaining about itching, it's not the same magnitude of suffering as when I'm really itching. And I tend to forget. Well, there was a time that I lost at the conference after being overconfident. Actually, the next time I go to Taiwan, I'll probably get a hotel room. See, I usually stay with my family. Hotels are relatively cheap there. You know, when I win and I want to celebrate, or when I lose and I'm mourning about it, I like to be alone. I know this is a little bit unusual, but I know myself, and that's probably what I'll do next. But the point is that I tend to over-remember the positive and under-remember the negative. This is not a bad thing in terms of the computer gaming conference. It encourages me to go back. If I remember details of the trip accurately, I probably would never want to go to another computer gaming contest. This attribute of memory is also good in terms of keeping our species alive. If people remember how painful childbirth is, oh my God, humans would be extinct. And it's a good thing. I think that's probably why we develop this kind of memory habit. It's a bad thing, though, when you're trying to get healthy. People will tend to remember when they were a couch potato all the interesting TV shows they watch, and they forget about how dull their life was or how painful it was to have certain medical conditions. They tend to minimize that. It wasn't in our evolutionary history to have medical conditions related to being a couch potato, so that wasn't adapted to. That's probably why. It wasn't part of our evolutionary history to have to have bad lifestyle habits because they didn't exist or they couldn't be afforded. You know, if you were a couch potato a million years ago, you wouldn't have food on the table. That's dangerous. Another way this could be dangerous is that people tend to remember their ex-girlfriends a lot more positively than they should. The other thing that can exacerbate this memory condition is when you recall stories, you tend to talk a lot more about the positives and maybe, just maybe, gloss over the negatives if you even mention them, and it reinforces the memories of the positives. I've read somewhere that when you recall a memory, you actually have to delete it from your mind and put it into your short-term memory, and then restore it back into your long-term memory. It's kind of funny because sometimes I'll find a song from the past on YouTube or elsewhere. Maybe I hear it on the radio. It brings back a memory, and I try to relive that memory by listening to that song again. But later on, maybe 6 months, a year later, I listen to that song and try to bring back the old memory. Now I'm remembering the memory from 6 months to a year ago. I kind of erased that association, which is kind of sad because there are songs that used to take me back to a certain place until I abused using that, and then it's gone. You want to be careful how you recall stories about about bad habits you used to have. Um, the way I get over this is I recall all the positive things that I've gained since changing that habit. See, I stopped drinking soda 13 years ago now, and the reason I stopped was because there was a girl that I liked in class, and I wanted to lose some weight before I talked to her. It's kind of funny because eventually she moved on and got married and had a child. She had a daughter, and it reinforced my idea. Oh my God, if I stay healthy 20 years from now, maybe I could date her daughter. And that just excites me. And I know it sounds stupid, but if it's what keeps me from not drinking soda, I care about the results. You know, yeah, it's important to remind yourself what you've gained since you quit smoking, since you've started getting exercise. If you keep recalling what life was like before, when you used to smoke, when you used to sit in front of the TV, you're going to drive yourself crazy because they're going to be two different stories, and you're going to fixate on the positives. Thanks for watching.